Good evening, guys. Hello, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. My day was great, guys. How are you? How was your day? Good, great. So, marks are out, results are out. Now, finally, you have everything that you need. Just 1 second, guys. I'm trying to figure out where the paper is. Yeah, got it. I'm good, guys. My day was good. Today I had two results. Yes, Nirmai, congratulations on your SSC result. Who else got your SSC result today? I was also from Maharashtra board till 10 standard, so I know your plight. Anybody home? Good evening, good evening. Why is the chat box become silent altogether? Good evening. Marks. First, let's create a statistics. Everybody became silent. It's like अभी हमारा नंबर आ जाएगा गलती से सीबीएसई आईसीएसई तो फालतू का प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा. Let's be silent. Let's ignore. Yes, Nirmay, that is very good. So, JEE mains test was on Sunday, right? Now you have your marks for JEE mains. First, we will do an analysis for total. Total was out of 300 marks, isn't it? Okay. So, if you scored between 100 to 150, you will mark A. I will start a hotspot, okay? So, please don't start messing up things now. 150 to 200, you will mark B. And 200 to 250, you will mark C. And finally, 250 to 300, you will mark D. A, B, C, and D. Not attempted, then don't attempt the quiz. Simple. Array, quick, everybody should at least select done. I'm not giving more time because there is nothing to figure out here. Time up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Okay, these are the results. So 250 above, we have 11% roughly of those who attempted. And then we have majority here. Do you see Maxwellian distribution bell curve? Yes, I told you, isn't it? Test papers are designed to have a bell curve. Now, because it's an elite batch, because you guys probably study, A wala percent is higher. Otherwise, A ideal bell curve would have A and D as similar and B and C as similar. Chalo, good job, guys. Now let's come to chemistry. Divakar, nothing. We are just analyzing marks, nothing specific. Now, chemistry paper was out of 100, isn't it? Isme we will try to make a bit of change. If you are in 0 to 40 range, you will mark A. If you are in 40 to 60, you will mark B. 60 to 80, you will mark D. and 80 to 100 you will mark. Sorry, ये C आ जाएगा and this will be D. टाइम पास नहीं कर रहा हूँ. I need to understand what is happening in the test. Time up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and stop. See, do you see a bell curve again? Skewed to the right, but yes. अरे हंसने का नहीं है. This is a practical application of Maxwellian distribution. That when you design questions in a way, you get outcome in a way. Cool. So 40% of the students who answered got in the range of 60 to 80. And congratulations to these 22% who were able to score 80 above. 80 to 100 is a very, very good job in this paper. Paper was slightly of a higher level, isn't it? Be right nahi re baba. I had to select one of the option from A, B, C, D. Otherwise, it does not let me end the hotspot. So I selected B. C select karta to people, if they would have got, if 60 to 80 would have been in lesser percentage, people would have got offended. So hence I selected B, safe side. Chalo. So what is the target for the day? Yes, Shardul, that happens when you misjudge a caliber of a batch. So then the question paper was bell curve, but then the answers or the marks get skewed to the right or to the left when you misjudge the caliber of a batch. Caliber means solving potential, not knowledge. I don't make the papers, I simply ensure that they are fine. And from now on, let me clear this point. Good that you brought it up. From now on, we are following a different test strategy in our elite and topper batches. Uh, if you ever encountered lollipop papers till now, you will not encounter anymore. Okay? Now we will ensure that a decent level paper is made with a proper bell curve, moderate level questions in most numbers, and easy and difficult in less numbers. Easy will be further lesser than the difficult ones. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say? You'll have more moderate type questions, lesser easier type questions, because we want to prepare ourselves for top 100, top 200 ranks, isn't it? We don't want to prepare to just get selected. So you, everybody is with me, right? You will definitely, previous marks ke comparison mein, you will definitely see a slight dip now, but then take that dip positively, that yes, we are fine, we are now being exposed to what we should be doing, or simply let's keep trust in sir and let's keep performing. Nice, Vishesh. So, guys, one thing many of you keep asking, that what is the average marks in the test, or what is a good mark in the test? Let me tell you very thing very clearly. There is nothing such good marks or average marks in the test. JE exams are an elimination exams, not a selection exam. Okay, so you have to be at your best. If you were not at your best, figure out what you can do to be at your best and try to be that in the next paper. As simple as that. But sir, marks wise, previous paper ke comparison mein, you should always aim 5 to 10% increment in your marks. Aryan, mains paper will be mains level, advanced paper will be advanced level. No more lowering down the level. That means, what does that mean? That means that you will not see any question from Tattva directly, but Tattva practice becomes more and more important then, isn't it? That if you are able to do all the levels, if you are able to attempt all the levels, then we'll definitely sail through easily in the exam. I'll be scheduling few sessions in the future, marks wise and average brackets. So Aman will deal with it there. I will schedule few sessions, few guidance session for different bracket students in the near future. So you'll get proper guidance there. Yahan pe it will get very hodgepodge, too many students. Chalo. Now with that information, yes, Tanya, exactly. Growth should be there. Bus. आगे बढ़ते. So what are we going to do today? What are we? Mrityunjay, the trick is to attempt match the column in the end. Always. Unless there is a part or match the column में तो you have options these days ना ABCD. तो match the column के लिए option elimination. Why do you have to solve it properly? Check four options. You will find that out of ABCD, out of P column one का ABCD, two would be obvious wrong ones. So eliminate them and do the rest these days. Do the rest. Match the column if you have options, option elimination. Yeah, Dharya, in our time there were no match the column में options. You had to manually fill in A ka marking with PQRS, B ka marking with PQRS, A, B, C, D, all of them. And if all are correct only, then you would get marks. अरे तो यही तो I was telling you that day that you should read instructions carefully. If one wrong, zero. Plus 8 minus 0 direct. Partial marking, no, no. It was then later introduced in 1 year, all suddenly in the paper. Sir, why analyzation of paper of test is done? What? One से multiple match, Tanya. ABCD matching with multiple PQRS, not one-on-one mapping. One to many mapping. So what are we going to do today? We are going to cover a bit of parts that are left to be covered from second law and third law. थोड़ा थोड़ा part बच गया था. वो I will cover. We'll then go back to questions that were there in the previous slide. Has everybody attempted all the webbook questions from the previous slide? Awesome. I'll discuss all of them. I'll discuss all of them. And then, if time permits, I will come to test paper discussion. And then, if time permits, we will move ahead with thermochemistry. Okay. Although, what I sincerely request is if we are not able to start thermochemistry, slides are attached in this session. Please go through the beginning 10-20 slides at least. That's it. So, as to get a feel of what is sir going to do in the next class. I don't expect you to understand it. I'm not telling you to go through it. I will not teach. Just read through so you will know what is to be expected. Chalo, this we discussed, sir. We have only, yes, this we discussed in the last class, but there was a grave error here. If you remember, how did we calculate T final in adiabatic irreversible process? We use first law of thermodynamics, that delta U equal to work done. Then delta U ko we wrote as NCV T2 minus T1, and I wrote down work done as P2 V2 minus P1 V1 upon gamma minus 1. Do you remember? And वो तो wrong हो गया ना. For adiabatic process, irreversible and reversible paths do not end up on the same state, remember? So I cannot use work done reversible ka formula. I'll have to use work done irreversible minus P external into V2 minus V1. Now please don't write anything on the chat window unnecessarily. Minus P, you are right, but don't write. Minus P external, irreversible process में P external is P final, isn't it? And इसको I am writing it as nRT2 by P2 minus nRT1 by P1. Now you will solve this for whichever variable you need. If you need T2, you will find T2 from this equation. Rest all will be known to you. If you want to find V2, you will convert T2 into V2 and you can find it. If you want to find P2, get rid of T2 again in terms of P2 and V2 and you will get it. Is the error understood? The mistake was I took here as P2 V2 minus P1 V1 upon gamma minus 1, which is wrong. So please, please, please correct your notes, and I sincerely apologize for the same. And thank you so much for who pointed it out to me on Telegram. I don't remember the name, but it was Ashish. Great. Thank you so much for pointing it out. Always keep pointing errors. And छोटा मोटा mistake कभी कभार हो जाता है. It should not happen. I agree. बट हम इतनी बकवास कर लेते हैं पूरे सेशन में कि थोड़ा बहुत यहाँ वहाँ हो जाता है. Next point. Next point. These are 3 points which we need to understand theoretically because they end up coming in multiple type questions again and again. Will an isolated system interact with the surroundings in any way? Will an isolated system interact in the surrounding in any way? Absolutely no. So suppose inside an isolated system a reversible process is happening. Will its entropy change? Will the entropy of the system change? Absolutely no. Absolutely no. Why? Because the isolated system is not interacting with the surrounding in any ways. So if even if the entropy changes, where will it go? So if an isolated system undergoes a reversible process, then definitely change in entropy is zero. Entropy remains constant. Now, what happens at equilibrium? So at equilibrium, we say that entropy of a system is maximum. What happens basically is, do you agree that a chemical equilibrium is a stable equilibrium? If you remember, I have told you earlier that chemical equilibrium means if A and B are in equilibrium with each other, concentration does not change of A and B. Also, you will study in chemical equilibrium chapter that if I push a reaction from equilibrium away from equilibrium, it tries to come back. We will study that in chemical equilibrium, not now. So, can I say that if pushing away from equilibrium, whether forward reaction matlab B की तरफ, whether backward that is A की तरफ, if it is not possible, can I say that equilibrium position say moving any direction is non-spontaneous? If A and B are in equilibrium with each other, it means that producing more B or producing more A is not possible. I cannot push the equilibrium forward or backward if it has already reached. It implies it is non-spontaneous. It cannot move on its own in the forward or the backward direction. What does non-spontaneous mean? Entropy change is positive or negative? What does non-spontaneous mean? Entropy change positive or negative? Entropy change negative. Entropy change negative. So, can I say it means it will be something like this? If I plot entropy versus reaction ka diagram, this becomes my equilibrium position. You move forward, entropy decreases. You move backward, entropy decreases. Matlab, change in entropy is negative, whether forward, whether backward. Change in entropy is negative, whether forward, whether backward, because we have reached equilibrium. So, this is your second point. And third is basically the result of second law of thermodynamics, isn't it? S increases if it undergoes a irreversible process. What does this x-axis mean? X-axis mean reaction progress. It means here I have pure A, here I have pure B, and here I have equilibrium of A with B. This is a way to show the progress of a reaction from reactant to products. Now understood? Hence, 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 can I say that किसी भी रिएक्शन के लिए, वेदर इट अचीव्स इक्विलिब्रियम or whether it is irreversible, that means it completes fully, the actual diagram would be like this of entropy. I'll explain this. Listen to me. This is only reactants. Okay, this is only reactants. They start reacting, they start forming products. If it reaches equilibrium, entropy becomes maximum anyways. The reaction will not go any forward. Yes or no? A is here, it is converting to product slowly. Because it is automatically converting to product, it is irreversible, so entropy is increasing. If it lands up at equilibrium, if it achieves equilibrium between A and B, entropy will already become maximum because entropy is max at equilibrium. Will the reaction go any forward? Will the entropy start decreasing? No, because equilibrium is a stable situation, stable equilibrium. What if it does not reach equilibrium? What if the reaction completes fully? 100% completion. Matlab kya? Entropy will increase till the reaction stops. Then entropy becomes constant. Why was it increasing continuously? Because it keeps increasing in a irreversible process. So entropy keeps increasing till all A converts to B, and then no longer reaction takes place. So entropy becomes constant. Is this point understood, guys? If not, please ask. If A and B achieve equilibrium, if A and B achieve equilibrium, the reaction will not go any forward. So entropy becomes now constant. If A 100% converts to B, after converting 100% to B, reaction cannot take place anymore. So entropy again becomes constant. Now is it understood? Amna and Srijanvi? That is not gamma, that is reaction. RXN, reaction. Reaction progress. Now, what is the second point? This was the first point. Okay, this was the first point. Now, the second point. Do you guys remember we talked about delta Ng earlier? Where did we talk about delta Ng? We talked about delta Ng in the relationship between enthalpy and internal energy, right? Now, do you remember gas has very high entropy in comparison to liquid, in comparison to solid? Now observe the first 2 points that I have written there. 2A and 2B. Ask doubt if any in 2A and 2B. 2A tells you if overall product has more gases than the reactant, so entropy will definitely increase. Makes sense because gases have much higher entropy than liquids and solids. If reactant has more gases than the product, then entropy will definitely decrease because gases has higher entropy. But what if, sir, delta Ng comes zero? For example, carbon diamond converting to carbon graphite. Then should we say entropy change is zero? Absolutely no. Because now none of them are gases. Now I will have to compare carbon solid graphite ki entropy with carbon solid diamond entropy, and then only I will be able to say delta S is positive or negative. Are you understanding this point? If delta Ng is zero, if gas is no longer the deciding factor, then liquids or solids become the deciding factor. As simple as that. We will not directly say that delta S is zero. Gas nahi hai, matlab no change in entropy. Yes, Siddharth, you are right. Entropy of graphite is more than that of diamond because diamond is a more ordered crystalline structure. Graphite is lesser ordered, more random. So, Siddharth ka point, everybody please pay attention. Wait, I have to broadcast. Huh? That Entropy of graphite is more than entropy of diamond. Why is that so? Diamond is a ordered crystalline structure. Carbon connected with four carbons and so on and so forth, and they are all arranged in a perfect arrangement. That is why you can make diamond shine. You can create surfaces which will generate total internal reflection. On the comparison, graphite is not 100%, is not as crystalline as diamond, so it has more entropy. Raw egg, boiled egg, that is got, that has to do with inertia more and less with, मतलब I wouldn't give it a chemistry angle. बहुत सारी चीजें हो रही होती हैं उसमें. I'd rather say boiled egg has moment of inertia located about the vertical axis. So when you spin a boiled egg, it keeps spinning. On the contrary, a non-boiled egg does not have a fixed moment of inertia because the yolk can float around. So when you try to rotate it, it does not rotate perfectly. Chalo, next point. Next point. We need to understand another equation, that is dg equal to vdp minus sdt. What is this and where did this equation come from? First, let's see its derivation, then we'll see its usage. Pehla point, we know that g equal to h minus ts. That means dg equal to dh minus d of ts. D of ts can be written as product rule, t into ds minus s into dt. Are you with me? This is one point. Now, second, first law of thermodynamics, du equal to, this is point number one, du equal to dq, right? Dq ko I can write it as sdt. Yes or no? Sdt nahi, sorry, tds. Why? Because ds equal to q by t. ds equal to dq by t. So dq becomes t into ds minus p, minus what? P dv. Yes or no? Now I'm using dh equal to du plus p dv plus vdp. And this bhai sahab goes here. So what will it give? It will give you tds plus vdp. Please check. Pdv will get cancelled. Now this second one goes in your first equation. What do you get? You get dg equal to tds gets cancelled and you'll have vdp minus sdt. Check kare please. You will have very rare use of this equation. You will have very rare use of this equation. What is the use of this equation? Now, if process is isothermal, if process is isothermal, what will you have? The second part becomes zero, isn't it? So dg becomes vdp. Depending on what relationship you have in, तो v को क्या लिखेंगे? nRT by p into dp. Now when you integrate, you will get delta g equal to nRT ln p2 by p1. So this is how you can calculate change in Gibbs free energy for a isothermal process. Now let's do the opposite thing. If process is isobaric, I don't think so. If process is isobaric, you will get dg equal to minus sdt. Should I be integrating it directly? Should I integrate directly? No. We will have to write it as q by t. And then q will come from first law. Q will come from first law. Where will Q come from? Iso pressure means QP equal to NCP delta T. Remember? So from here, we will be plugging it. We will find the value of Q for that process from here. and then plug it here to integrate dt by t as ln t2 by t1. Is the point understood, guys? Now, what if a reaction was taking place? What if a reaction was taking place? So my equation is dg equal to vdp minus sdt, right? Now, instead for a reaction, instead of g, I will write it as delta rg. Do you remember we talked about delta rcp in the previous class? Previous to previous class, Kirchhoff equation mein. What does delta rg means? Delta rg means change in entropy for the reaction. Change in Gibbs free energy of the reaction. Gibbs free energy of products minus Gibbs free energy of reactants. Similarly, your V becomes delta RV and then your S becomes delta RS. Are you with me, guys? Now, if dt is 0, that means reaction is performed at constant temperature. Then what will you get? You will get delta Rg equal to integral of delta Rv into dp. dp can be written as dp ka integral will be simply p2 minus p1. So you'll plug in the value. So you'll get change in internal energy for a reaction. If there is any doubt, please ask. If dp is 0, the same thing will convert to what? The same thing will convert to this into T2 minus T1. Iso P means isobaric, yes. Done. So with this, we finally come an end to what? Just hold on. I think there is one more interpretation of third law. Did anybody understand the whole Carnot cycle thing? Nobody. Oh, cool. Let me think. ऊपर ऊपर से एक्सप्लेन कर दूं फिर चलेगा? I'll not go into the depth. I don't have that much time. Okay, just give me 1 second. I'll transfer that file to my mail so I can then discuss it. Till then, let's go to those questions of the previous class. Physics wale Carnot cycle, yes, they do cover in physics Carnot cycle in 12th standard, but they will not cover it from the perspective we want it to be covered, isn't it? They will cover it from physics perspective. Chalo, till then that gets figured. Let's go ahead. I'll cover it before the chapter completes, if not today. Let's go ahead. 1 mole of an ideal gas expands isothermally and reversibly from initial to final. Change in entropy. So we know the entropy change ka formula. A part can be done easily. Reversible and isothermal, work done can be calculated easily. Isothermal, to delta U is 0. So Q becomes equal to minus W. So 2 and 3 are related. Now, what is the change in entropy of surrounding? If the process is reversible, delta S universe is 0. That means delta S system equal to minus of delta S surrounding, right? And then fifth part, what is the change in entropy of system plus the surrounding? Simply 0. Also answer the questions. Opening a stop cork and allowing the gas to rush into, meaning irreversible. Meaning irreversible. So then you will solve the same thing for irreversible system. Do you remember for isothermal process, Delta S remains same whether it is reversible or irreversible. But for whom it remains same? For the system it remains same. Will it come same for the surroundings? No. Surrounding के लिए we will have to calculate using minus q system upon t. How will q system come into the picture? It will come from work done, and work done would be minus p external into v2 minus v1 because it was a irreversible expansion. Why is delta v 0? 1 mole of ideal gas expands isothermally from a volume of 10 liter to 20 liter. I also answer the question. Also answer the questions. Opening a stop cork and allowing the gas to rush into. No, no. You are already at 20 liter. After that, you are going to 30 liter. या फिर no, no, wait 1 minute. Let me check the solution. What they have done. Language, because we'll understand from there only. 1 second. This is evacuated bulb of 10 liter. Yeah, so this is now not isothermal. This is now adiabatic expansion from 10 liter to 20 liter total, from 10 liter to total 20 liter, but it is an adiabatic expansion because we are expanding against what? P external 0. Yes, not free expansion, not free expansion, because the total volume final is fixed as 10 liter. So this is expansion against P external 0 and adiabatic at the same time. Chalo, next. I hope people were at least, yes, delta V is 10, but you won't have to calculate. You won't need to calculate. A part everybody was able to do easily. B part you got stuck. So then when you open the solution, so then when you open the solution, it explains you a part of it, but then first part, how do you get it? That they don't talk about. You are going from state A to state B. You are going from state A to state B, whether isothermal, whether adiabatic. Delta S system तो same आएगा ना, because delta S is a state function. And that is why he took directly B का first part का answer as A का first part का answer. Got it? Next. 2 mole of an ideal gas is expanded irreversibly and isothermally at 27 degrees Celsius until its volume is doubled and so much amount of heat is absorbed from the surrounding. Now, irreversible and isothermal. So delta S system to remains the same. Delta S system for reversible will be equal to delta S system for irreversible if it is isothermal. How will I calculate delta S system? NCV ln T2 by T1 plus NR ln V2 by V1. Right? And how will I calculate delta S surrounding now? Delta S surrounding will be what? Q surrounding upon T. What T? T final, but here it is isothermal, so does not matter. 3.3 kilojoule heat is absorbed from the surrounding. Matlab surrounding would have lost that heat, isn't it? So surrounding ke liye it will come out to be with negative sign upon 300. So you'll have your answer. Is it clear? Be active, guys. Be responsive. Be active. 0.5 mole of ideal monoatomic gas at STP conditions undergoes a process. If the final volume, if the final volume of the gas is this, then the entropy change in the process is. क्या हो रहा है? आइसोबारिक गिवन है तो बहुत सिंपल हो गया. But what is the initial volume? Initial volume would be 11.2 liters. Why will initial volume be 11.2 liter? Because at STP, 1 mole of gas occupies 22.7, 22.4 liters. So half mole will occupy 11.2 liter. What is the V final? 22.7 E. And then he's asking change in entropy and he has given isobaric. Isobaric के लिए क्या था formula? NCP ln T2 by T1 plus NR ln P1 by P2. This goes away. So this becomes your answer. From temperatures, you can convert this to volume, isn't it? P into V2 by NR, P into V1 by NR. NR or P gets cancelled, only volume remains. Substitute, get the answer. Sir, where is it given reversible? Where is it given reversible that you applied this formula? Doesn't matter that reversible, irreversible issue is only with adiabatic process, because adiabatic process cannot be connected by reversible and irreversible path. Are you understanding what I'm saying? The problem of delta S calculation, whether it is reversible or irreversible, is only with an adiabatic process, not with an isobaric process. So if it is isobaric delta S system, I can calculate directly. Are you with me? Chalo, next. Pressure of 10 mole of an ideal gas is changed from 2 atm to 1 atm against constant external pressure without change in temperature. What is meant by R by 100 in the previous question? Whatever final answer you get, you multiply it by 100 upon R and then you report it. This you were getting as the final answer. So he's asking multiply it by 100 upon R so that you get some decent looking number. He was helping you by cancelling R. You don't want to get helped. You report this answer, calculate R, multiply by 1.7. By multiplying it by 100 upon R, your calculation became simpler. You don't want to do that, your choice. So अरे तो बेसिकली गड़बड़ क्या हुआ? This should not have been 22.7, this should have been 22.4. So why is it given 22.4 E? Because when you take the ratio, the bad number gets cancelled and you get only 2 E remaining. E is 2.303. ln wala E. Pressure of 10 moles of an ideal gas is change. हाँ, so मैं ये बोल रहा था constant external pressure without change in temperature, meaning isothermal irreversible. If surrounding temperature 300 and pressure 1 atm always remains constant, matlab P external is 1 atm, then calculate total entropy change system plus surrounding for the given process. So isothermal irreversible expansion. Isothermal irreversible expansion. डेल्टा सिस्टम तो डायरेक्ट कैलकुलेट हो जाएगा. एनसीवी ln p2 एनसीवी ln v2 by v1 और sorry nr ln v2 by v1 और nr ln p1 by p2, right? Are you understanding what I'm saying? Delta S system we will directly calculate using ncv ln t2 by t1 plus nr ln v2 by v1 or the pressure one. Because I know it is going from 2 to 1, I will use the pressure one. This term anyways will go to 0. So plug in the values, you will get delta S system directly. Now, how to calculate delta S surrounding? It is irreversible process, so you have to be careful. It will come out to be from work done by FLOT, but work done will be minus P external into V2 minus V1. Do we know final initial volumes? No, we don't. So we convert it into nRT by P. What will be P external? P external will be 180 m, that is P2. So you calculate delta S surrounding, you add it to delta S system, you get this answer. Quickly analyze and let me know if there is any doubt remaining in this. There are loads of questions that we need to discuss. So the faster you'll confirm, the faster we'll move ahead. Okay, great. 1 mole of steam is condensed at 100 degrees Celsius. The water is cooled to 0 degrees Celsius and frozen to ice. That means, can I say this is a three-part process? This I am conducting at 0 degrees Celsius. This I am conducting at 100 degrees Celsius. So basically, this is condensation and this is freezing. Correct? Now, therefore, I will say entropy change of this entire process can be broken down into three parts, and and this is condensation, right? So system loses heat, surrounding gains heat, right? So it will be minus delta H vaporization upon 100 degrees Celsius because it is losing heat, na? Now second is water heating up. How much moles? 1 mole. And we know that water के लिए specific heat capacity is 1 calorie per gram degree Celsius or per gram Kelvin. So I'm writing it as 18 gram because I want to use 1 calorie per gram degree Celsius. Are you with me, guys? And this will be what? 373 minus 273 upon. We always use final temperature. Final temperature is 273 plus delta S3. Delta S3 again freezing, so heat has to be removed. So minus delta H freezing upon 273. What is this all thing equal to? Entropy final, matlab entropy of ice, minus entropy initial, that is entropy of steam. What all data is given to me? This is enthalpy of vaporization, this is enthalpy of fusion. They are given per gram. They are given per gram. So this answer will be in per gram, this answer will be in per gram. So don't you think यहाँ से 18 फिर हटा देना चाहिए? So that overall answer also comes in per gram. Let me check what have they reported it as. Okay, they have not reported it as per gram. So let us revert back. Let us revert back and let's report it as per mole only. Let's report it as per mole only. Temperature of S2, 273 or 373. 1 second, please. I think I made a mistake. Let me first think. हाँ ये wrong हो गया ना. I made a stupid blunder here. What mistake did I do? I used NC delta T upon T. Is this correct? Should I use delta S as Q by T separately when Q is a function of temperature? No, I will have to use NC dt by t, which on integral will give me NC ln t2 by t1. This will go here. Okay, so ये correction कर लेना please. And here, because it was per gram, now I multiplied by 18 so that it will come out to be per mole. Is the question 100% clear how to deal with systems that are not gases? Phase changes will be dealt with heat exchanged at the phase, and the rest will be dealt with NCl and T2 by T1. I think this is the same question. Yes, Janvi, I'll explain why I changed it. Uh, Earlier, I ended up using this, and then Q ke jagah I substituted this. Ideally, I should have taken ds equal to dq by t, because dq is nc dt. It has a function of temperature. So I'll have to use this and not q by t separate. Q by t separate can be used where q is independent of temperature. Q by t can be used when q is independent of temperature. Now this is the same question, बस इसे objective format में लिख दिया है, so I'm skipping it. Uh, why do I remember discussing this in the last class? This we did, na? Hmm. So I'm deleting it, okay? Chalo. This also we solved. Product entropy minus reactant entropy direct. But should I ignore the stoichiometric coefficients? Should I ignore the stoichiometric coefficients? No, they will have to be considered. For the reaction that takes place at certain temperature, if the equilibrium pressure is x bar, then delta gr naught would be ये पार्ट मैंने आपको अभी तक कराया नहीं है. आई रियली डिडंट वांट टू कवर इट हियर. चलो करा देते हैं. If this is equilibrium, if this system is in equilibrium, we define something called k equilibrium constant, as product concentration to the power its stoichiometry. Suppose they were aqueous solution. डिटेल में इक्विलिब्रियम में पढ़ेंगे, ठीक है? अभी नहीं पूछना क्वेश्चंस. अपॉन रिएक्टेंट टू द पावर इट्स stoichiometry. This is what is called equilibrium constant. Product to the power h stoichiometry upon reactant to the power h stoichiometry. If it is aqueous, I will use concentration. If it is gas, I will use pressure. Sir, what to do if it is solid? I will not use it at all. I repeat, if gas, then concentration. If aqueous solution, then sorry, गड़बड़ हो गया ना. If gas, then pressure. If aqueous solution, then concentration. If liquid or solid, then don't consider. Don't write it at all. There is an equation which relates this. Ignore everything, okay? Just let it be there in your notes for the sake of completeness. Just keep looking as to what is happening. In detail, I will talk about all of this in chemical equilibrium, not here. All you need to know right now is this. Yes, Hemant, that is what I mean. As of now. So, if you know delta G naught, can you calculate K equilibrium? Yes. Now also please notice, if delta G naught is negative, that means it is spontaneous. Then what will you get K equilibrium as? You will get K equilibrium as greater than 1. How did I get this? Delta G negative, so negative negative gets cancelled. That means ln K is a positive quantity. Delta G naught, if it is negative, negative negative gets cancelled. R is always positive, T is always positive. So ln K is positive, isn't it? And ln quantity is a positive number when the input is greater than 1. Ln quantity is a positive number when the input is greater than 1. Now, if delta G naught is positive, if delta G naught is positive, what would it mean? K equilibrium will come less than 1. If delta G naught also comes out to be 0, that means K equilibrium will be equal to 1. What is the difference between delta G and delta G naught? What is the difference between delta G and delta G naught? To understand that, we need to introduce a concept of standard states. What do we mean by standard states, and where did it come into the picture? Standard state means a system at P equal to 1 atm, concentration of species as 1 molar, and temperature is fixed. Fixed matlab kitna? If not given, then 25 degrees Celsius. Are you understanding what I mean by standard state? Basically, I fixed the operating conditions of the system so that I can easily compare, so that I can use so that I can use data bank, I can use data books. Now suppose you had two equilibrium reactions, A and B ka equilibrium one reaction, and C and D another equilibrium second reaction. If I was not comparing the reactions at same conditions, will I be able to compare their K equilibrium? Does it make logical sense? No, it does not make any logical sense. So we define something called standard state. For gases, the pressure should be 1 atm. For aqueous solution, the concentration should be 1 molar and temperature should be fixed. Also, elements to be considered in their standard forms at room temperature and pressure implies what? Implies what is the standard physical state of hydrogen at room temperature pressure? Gas. So this will be allowed, but this will not be allowed. This will be allowed, but this will not be allowed, because at room temperature pressure, this is not its physical state. Now, two, three things you should remember if we talk about carbon graphite and carbon diamond, which is a thermodynamically more stable state, or which is considered as a standard state for carbon, that is, can anybody figure out? Can anybody guess? Thermodynamically, at room temperature pressure, graphite is more stable than diamond. Thermodynamically, at room temperature pressure, graphite is more stable than diamond. Sir, how is it possible? My Graphite piece does not convert to diamond. My diamond does not convert to graphite automatically. I completely agree with you. I'm saying thermodynamically. I'm not saying kinetically. The conversion of diamond to graphite is extremely slow at room temperature. Not will it will not even complete in a million years. What entropy? This is what I'm saying, na Janvi. The diamond to graphite conversion at room temperature pressure is extremely slow. It is spontaneous, but extremely slow. Do you remember in the very first class I told you we are not talking about speed in this chapter. We are only talking about feasibility. So if given infinite time, yes, that will happen. If given infinite time, yes, that will happen. Phosphorus now, which is the standard state for phosphorus? The standard state for phosphorus is phosphorus black. There are three allotropes of phosphorus: red, white, and black. We consider black phosphorus as the standard state of phosphorus. Sir, what is the difference between red, white, and black phosphorus? That we will cover when we cover 12th standard chapter, p block elements. Last, the third one that you should remember is sulfur Kelly standard state is rhombic sulfur. Is the meaning of standard state now clear? Yes, rhombic is represented by S8. Phosphorus black is just represented by P. So now coming back to this point, can I say that at equilibrium, change in Gibbs free energy is zero, but standard Gibbs free energy is not zero. At equilibrium, change in Gibbs free energy is zero, but standard Gibbs free energy of that reaction at equilibrium is not zero, because that will give me some value of K equilibrium. Yes, Daksh, you are right, but I will not elaborate on it at all. Baki detailing about equilibrium will do in that chapter. Chalo, let's try and solve this problem. For a reaction takes place at a certain temperature, if equilibrium pressure is x bar, then delta R G naught would be. Ideally speaking, you should not be solving this question here. You should be doing this in chemical equilibrium only. But formula is this, right? And if you remember, we said K equilibrium is what? If there are gases, I will write pressures to the power their stoichiometry. Reactant आएगा denominator में, but the reactant is a solid, so there will be no denominator. Are you with me till now? Quick, quick, quick. Now, now, X is equilibrium pressure, isn't it? Which is equal to the sum of partial pressure of the components present. Can I say that? Can I say that जितना अमोनिया बनेगा उतना ही H2S भी बनेगा? The amount of ammonia formed will be equal to the amount of H2S formed because they both have stoichiometric coefficient 1 and 1. Right? So this I can therefore write it as something like this. Implies K becomes PNH3 square. Implies K becomes x by 2 squared. That means x square by 4. From here I will conclude delta R G naught equal to minus RT x square by 4. That is minus RT 2 ln x minus 2 ln 2. अब कौन सा मैच हो रहा है? 2 कॉमन निकाल लेते हैं. माइनस 2 RT ln x minus ln 2. This point we emphasize in chemical equilibrium only, and that is why we don't we this question should not have been here. Will the test have such question? No, it will not. I will have ample things to ask. Don't you worry. Why did we multiply? Where? Here, up here. Because here when I defined K equilibrium for you, I told you it is equal to product key power its stoichiometry upon reactant power its stoichiometry. If there are two products, you will multiply them. If there are two reactants, you would have multiplied them and divided it. You don't add them. If there are more than one reactants or products, you multiply them. Hence I will not ask such type of question here. You can choose to skip it altogether. Bus prepare it from your school perspective. Ashish, it is significantly different. But then these numbers go as inputs to real gas models. So any modeling that you do, any algorithm that you make to solve a real gas equation will have to always start from a seed value. ये सब आगे जाके पढ़ोगे. And that is where these ideal gas calculations come useful. That you at least get a ballpark figure to start off with, and then you arrive at the actual answer. Now skip this question. Chemical equilibrium hai. This is hardcore chemical equilibrium. We will not discuss it here at all. We'll talk about this thermodynamics, this chemistry, this thermodynamics in chemical equilibrium. Let's see. Hopefully, calculate log. No, not to be done here again. Yeah. 1 mole of a monoatomic ideal gas was taken through a process A to B as shown in the figure. Mrityunjay, this is the last question, so we will go to the doubts now. If 1 mole of monoatomic ideal gas was taken through process AB as shown in the figure, then select the correct options. Please check this question and ask if there is a doubt. Now, this is V versus T, right? This is V versus T. So we write the equation as y minus y1 upon x minus x1 equal to y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So from this, I will get V versus T ka equation, which I can use for work done as minus P dV, and P I will write it as minus nRT by V dV, and V ka formula in terms of T will come from here, or T ka formula in terms of V will come from here. So you can calculate work done accordingly. Delta U will be NCV ln T2 by then delta U will be NCV T2 minus T1. This will be NCP T2 minus T1. तो सब कुछ easily calculate हो जाएगा. It is possible that this has multiple answers. Is it clear? Now, the test paper that I have, I am quickly pasting one question from it, and I'm discussing them as we go. Okay? Please, you also open your test papers so that it will be faster. Peroxides are basic in nature and they form hydrogen peroxides on treatment with acid. What volume of H2SO4 is used to neutralize this solution? So, what you have to do is you have to write a balanced chemical equation first. The moment you write balanced chemical equation, your job is done. हो गया solve. 1 mole requires 1 mole. You know how many moles of calcium peroxide are present. So you can calculate the volume of H2SO4 used. Is this question clear, guys? Quick. So this was an easy question. Nothing about H2O2. Nothing about H2O2. That is what you were supposed to do. This he said is basic in nature. This he said this is an acid. So they neutralized each other. This was an easy level question. You should have been able to do it. What? How do I react them further? Do you have a suggestion? KTG tells us that collisions are always elastic. Yes, we saw that the distribution is like this. So very few particles have very high velocity, correct? Between them, they move in straight lines. We discussed this point also, correct? So the answer here is D. Again, an easy question. Everybody should have been able to solve. Next. Equal volumes of 1 molar each of KMnO4 and K2Cr2O7 are used to oxidize ferrous solution. The amount of ferrous oxidized will be. Here, I don't need the answers, please. I have the answer key with me. Dikhao. Don't give me the answers. If I need, I'll ask. Equivalence of Fe2 plus will be equal to equivalence of KMnO4 for the first case. And here it will be equal to, let me say this is their second case. Both number of moles are same because you are taking equal molar, equal volume and 1 mole. So the only thing that is changing on the right side is the n factor, isn't it? N factor here is 5 into the number of moles. N factor here is 6 into the number of moles. And here the left side is what? N factor 1 into the number of moles. So which one will have more number of moles? The second one. This was a moderate difficulty level question. If there is a question which is not there in your paper but I am starting to discuss it, please stop me then and there because this is probably not the final copy. 4 mole of a mixture of more salt and ferric sulfate required so much of KMnO4 for complete oxidation in acidic medium. Percent of more salt is. What is more salt? If you would have practiced from Tattva a lot, you would have now been able to figure out more salt easily. It is ferrous ammonium sulfate. How much H2O? 6H2O. What happens with KMnO4? Only the Fe2 plus reacts, isn't it? If I had 4 mole of this sample, matlab FeSO4 is also 4 moles. Sorry, ये 4 नहीं, my bad. If this is X mole, so FeSO4 is also X mole. And it is this X mole which is reacting with KMnO4. So you know X, so then you'll know the percentage. Again, a medium difficulty level question. Or probably we can put this as difficult, not medium. है ना? What do you say? How many gram of K2Cr2O7 is present in 1 liter of its N by 10 solution in acidic medium? What is the catch here? What is the catch here? How to solve this question? Whether it is acidic, whether it is basic, we don't really care. N factor will be 6. You are absolutely wrong. You are absolutely wrong. Actually, the original question had basic medium. K2Cr2O7 in basic medium converts to CrO4 2 minus. Only in acidic medium it stays as dichromate In basic medium, it converts into chromate. Now, if the question was in basic medium, what would have been the n factor therefore? If the question would have been in basic medium, what would have been the n factor therefore? In basic medium, dichromate would have converted to chromate, and then you have only one chromium going from +6 to +3. So n factor would be then 3. Right now in acidic medium, you have two chromium going +6 to +3. So n factor is 6. Is it now clear? Is the complexity of question understood? In basic medium, it is expected that you would have converted it to chromate and then you would have got n factor as 3. But abhi jitna question diya hai, uske hisab se it's a medium difficulty level. If this was given as in basic medium, then it definitely becomes high difficulty level. Can't we balance it? You can, why not? But still, you have one n factor would be for one chromate. So it is only one CR. Sure, Shirash, no problem. Next. Next is COP Cu2s wala question. I think we covered a similar one in the class. Here, both of them are changing. Copper 2 plus also, sulfur also. Any question that has been taken in the class, no matter how difficult it is, will always go in. Daksh, is this disproportionation? Guys, is this disproportionation? No, that's a grave error. Different elements are getting oxidized and reduced. So copper is losing 2 electron. Sulfur is gaining 6 electron. Sorry. Both of them are losing total of 8 electrons. So it is n factor is 8 here. Ab2 is solid with negligible vapor pressure below 0 degree Celsius. Matlab below 0 degree Celsius, Ab2 does not form any vapor. At 300 Kelvin, Ab in the smaller flask exerts 3 atm and in the larger flask B2 exerts 1 atm. At 400 Kelvin, when they are separated by a closed valve, the gases are mixed by opening the stop cork, and after the end of the reaction, the flasks are cooled to 250 Kelvin. The final pressure is. क्वेश्चन समझ पढ़ते ही समझ में आता है, छोड़ देना चाहिए. Isn't it? सर तीन अलग अलग टेम्परेचर की बात हो रही है, कहां से सॉल्व होगा? इट इज डैम इजी. It is damn easy. How is it damn easy? From the initial data at 300 Kelvin, can I directly calculate moles of AB? Number of moles of AB will be what? P into V upon RT. Number of moles of B2 will be what? Again same, P into V upon RT. ये था 400 पे ना, तो ये 400 हो गया. Exerts a pressure of this, and in the larger pressure exerts a pressure of this at 400 when the valves are closed. So this is maintained at 300. This was maintained at 400. Now you open the stop cork, you let the reactions happen, and you cool everything down to 250. First of all, what will be the number of moles coming out to be? 0.0821, 0.08 na. So this is 1 and this is what? 1 by 4. Yeah. So now who's the limiting reagent? If this is 2, this is 1. If this is 1, this is zero point 0.5. Do I have zero point 0.5? I don't have zero point 0.5. So B2 becomes my limiting reagent. Now, after reaction, what will happen? After reaction, the limiting reagent will get over. This will react double of the limiting reagent. So zero point 0.5 will be left behind, and this will be formed double of the limiting reagent. So zero point 0.5 will be formed. But finally, I'm taking it below zero. तो ये तो solidify हो जाएगा. टाटा बाय बाय. Final number of moles of gas is zero point 0.5. Final volume is 2 into 8.21, and final temperature is 250. So P will be equal to number of moles into R into T upon total V. Total V is 2 into 8.21. This is, sorry, 0.0821. Is it understood? Why solidify? See, the question says AB2 is a solid with negligible vapor pressure below zero. So below 273, AB2 is a solid. That is why. एक दो तो पेपर में ऐसा क्वेश्चन होना चाहिए ना, जो देखते ही फील आनी चाहिए अंदर से, ये छोड़ना है. इसको अटेम्प्ट किया तो 3 घंटा बर्बाद. But at the same time, some of you might have found it very tempting in the paper. Let's do it. Always resist the urge. Always resist the urge. Questions that call you, always run away from them. They will end up taking huge amount of time in the paper. I cannot expect you to be able to solve this in the paper in less than 10 minutes, or at least 6 to 7 minutes. So always resist the urge. Yes, because it will take time for you to understand, for you to solve, to make sure there is no error. Next, starting with this much moles. This is a standard limiting reagent question. I'm skipping it. Easy. Standard limiting reagent type question. So definitely easy. Will you solve it by n factor and all? Not required. Just balance the reaction first and then simply solve it like a normal question. Now, this a similar question was taken in the class, if you remember, and hence again termed as easy. And to give -1 by computer. Chalo, next. Incorrect. A is the measure of force of attraction between the particles. Correct statement, so not an answer. B is the excluded volume or co-volume. Correct, so not an answer. Higher the value of A, easier the liquefaction. Correct, so not an answer. Lower the value of B, easier the liquefaction. Not at all related, so the answer. But then the question comes, sir, TC का formula होता है 8A upon 27 RB, right? If B is small, TC is definitely higher. And if TC is higher, liquefaction is definitely easier. Mathematically, it does make sense, but practically, it does not. As Van der Waal equation is an extremely simplified equation. Mathematically, it does make sense that TC is small, so B is small, so TC is large. So liquefaction should be easy, but it does not make any practical sense. And hence, D is the answer. इतना दिमाग अगर नहीं भी लगाते तो सीधा A B C तो we have already studied in class, so D automatically becomes the answer, isn't it? 100 ml of each HCl solution having pH 5 and NaOH having pH 8 in mixture. How much this? हाँ, ये क्वेश्चन में मेरे से थोड़ा गड़बड़ हो गया. I overestimated your knowledge that probably you will be able to handle. So it is my bad. This goes in out of syllabus question, but nothing can be done about it now. I cannot give you bonus. Our system does not allow to do that. Now, why is it out of syllabus? 100 ml HCl. Yes, yes, I will. Why not? So H plus will come 10 to power minus 5, and you took 100 ml NaOH. From the pH formula, H plus will come 10 to power minus 8. सर ये कहाँ से आ रहा है? pH equal to minus log H plus. I am assuming some people know this. वही बोल रहा हूँ. This happened. This is my mistake. My bad. Pay attention now. pH is equal to minus log H plus. So when you put 5, you get H plus as 10 to power minus 5. When you put 8, you get H plus as 10 to power minus 8. Now this, a basic solution cannot have an acidic pH, acidic H plus in it, right? So actually, this will come out to be OH minus as 10 to power minus 6. Guys, let's skip this. गलती हो गई मेरे से, माफ कर देना. I will make sure that this does not happen again. It will take a lot of time to explain this कि ये किधर से आया. So let's skip this part. Janvi, that is what I'm telling you. कि I'll have to discuss lots of equations for that. So I don't want to get into it right now. It will end up wasting a lot of time for you and me both. Which is the incorrect one? Incorrect statement. If Z is less than 1, then definitely gas is more compressible. So C तो answer हो गया sure short. For ideal gas, Z is 1. So this cannot be the answer. That means all of these cannot be the answer. So I would have simply marked C and moved ahead. I would have not bothered for B at all. For real gases, Z is not equal to 1 except at boil temperature, which is correct. At boil temperature, a gas behaves like an ideal gas, and only then Z is equal to 1. Otherwise, it is not equal to 1. So simple question marked E again. Later, what I want you to do is against my marking of easy, medium, difficult, you mark which section you got how much marks. Divakar, that 80% could easily be 20% also. So unless you are 100% confident, don't attempt. The volume of 0.1 molar AgNO3 which is required by this to precipitate. Easy question, isn't it? Simple double displacement reaction will give Ag2CrO4 plus KNO3 taken twice. So 1 mole requires 1 mole. Easy balance. Again, simple question. Two identical bulbs containing ideal gases A and B. Density of A is twice that of B. Molecular weight is also related. ये भी easy question है because you have to direct use PM equal to DRT. और तानिया, उसी हरकत की वजह से my first JEE attempt went miserable. In paper, luck will never ever be with you, especially when you're not prepared. In test paper, your luck of +5 -1 will never be in your favor. It will always work against you. Whatever you will think will never be the answer, so don't do that. At what temperature the average speed of gas molecules will be double at that of 27? Simple question, guys. If you want to double the speed, the temperature has to become 4 times. Sorry, temperature has to become half. Sorry, double बोल रहे ना. Temperature will become 4 times, but 4 times in which scale? 4 times in Kelvin scale. So actual temperature is this. इसका 4 times and then bring it back to Celsius. I'm marking it as medium because probably you must have messed up the whole Kelvin Celsius thing. Palak, it is resisting that urge which is discipline. लॉकडाउन में बड़ा मन करता होगा ना बालकनी से कूद जाने का, बट कूद जाते हो क्या? At relatively high pressure, Van der Waal equation reduces to at high pressure, which is not applicable. At high pressure, correction term A is not applicable, and therefore option should have only B present in it. Blind marking C. Not even, don't even need to calculate. इसको देख के तो ऐसा लग रहा है कि केमिस्ट्री का पेपर इजी बन गया. Why not A, sir? Because at high pressure, low temperature, B also gets neglected. To neglect B, I need high pressure, low temperature both together, or I just need low pressure. No, no, Priyanshu, you can always tell me that if I have marked anything wrong. If I have marked anything wrong, E ka M ya M ka D, please tell me. But in questions like this, if you tell me, sir, I could not figure out what to do at high pressure, then that is lack of practice. This is definitely difficult. A vertical hollow cylinder of height 152 is fitted with a weightless piston. So this entire height is 152. The lower half is filled with an ideal gas and the upper half is mercury. The cylinder is now heated to 300 Kelvin so that one fourth comes out. मतलब final में this becomes like this. Find the temperature at which it will happen assuming thermal expansion to be negligible. So I will simply say if this is volume here right now, V by 2, here it becomes 3V by 4, isn't it? Only the language was difficult here, nothing else. Now V by T is a constant. Okay, they must have changed the data to ease the calculation, I think. But making it 133 makes no sense. Oh, they missed my question. Oh, badla. We will have to use PV by T equal to constant, not V by T as a constant. Why? Yes, yes, wait, explaining. So initially, I have an open cylinder. I have an open cylinder in which the upper half is filled with mercury. So mercury height is here 76 centimeter and the lower half was 76 centimeter. Okay, I understood, got it. The concept is the same. Now I heat it. Now I heat it. Initially the temperature is 400. Now I heat it. So the temperature becomes T, volume becomes 3V by 4 and one fourth of mercury has expelled out. यहाँ पे भी आई थिंक मैंने थोड़ा सा मिस्टेक किया जल्दी में. 3V by 4, 3V by 4 नहीं आएगा वो. One fourth of mercury expelled out. So V by 2 was mercury, right? So V by 8 expelled out, isn't it? So this would actually be 7V by 8. Now is the question understood? So what is the initial pressure? What is the initial pressure? The initial pressure is P80m plus 1 atm due to mercury. Mercury ka 76 corresponds to 1 atm, isn't it? So P initial is 2 atm inside. And what is P final? P final is 1 atm plus, now you have only 3/4, 1/4 of the mercury comes out. So now you have only 3/4 mercury remaining. That means iska 3/4, 76 into 3 by 4, divide by 76. So this becomes your P final. Let me check. V2 is given as 5. Let me check. Let me think. V by 2 इधर था, 1/4 of mercury comes out. This is V by 2 already. V by 2 का 1/4 is V by 8. So V by 8 comes out. What remains? V by 2 plus V by 2 plus 3 by 2 of V by 2. No, it will be 7V by 8 only. They messed up the question big time. I'll report it. Let's increase the difficulty level of this question. See, every paper, let me tell you, every paper will have 2 to 3 questions which you're supposed to leave or solve in the end. No, Janvi, there was a mistake there. They messed it up. Ideally speaking, 152 या 133. Let me check what is the error there, then I'll give you guys the correct one. For a real gas, if density at critical point is given to you, Tc is given to you, van der Waals constant A is asked. Any doubt here? Density at critical point is given, so I can easily calculate Vc na from here. Vc is what? Molar volume. Molar mass is also given to me, so it will become 1 by 0.8. That means this becomes centimeter cube per gram. I will multiply it by 60, so it becomes centimeter cube per mole. So Vc पता चल गया equal to 3b and Tc का formula we know. So we will get this. Still I'm putting it as m because this 60 needs to be accounted for. Because if you don't multiply the 60, you will get it wrong. Any doubt here? Bus 5 minutes more, guys. 5 minutes more. Which of the following statements are false? Extensive properties are non-additive. Extensive properties तो additive होती हैं, तो ये तो wrong है. Intensive properties are additive. No, they are not additive. I cannot add two density together. Extensive property is a property that changes with the size of the sample. Correct. Intensive property is a bulk property. Is this right or is this wrong? Intensive property is a point property. याद है? Intensity. Intensity comes from intensive. It's a point property. The ratio of two extensive property results into a parameter that is independent of the amount of substance, which is right, intensive. So this is a easy question. If you would have studied the theory, that should not have gone wrong. Yeah, so no option, na. Hence you mark the best one. Hence you mark the best one, 1 and 2. The original question had 1, 2 and 4. I removed the 4 to see how you react. Is the question wrong? No, the question is not wrong. 1 and 2 are incorrect. Divakar, that means your theory is not clear. You need to revise and learn theory properly. Nipun, be confident. Be confident. Be confident. Now, which of the following statements are false? Work is a state function is false. Khatam. I will not even read BCD. They again probably they did something to the question. It could not have been so easy. Subjective question, last five of them. 24 ml of water gas containing only hydrogen and carbon monoxide in equal proportion. Matlab hydrogen is 12 ml and CO is 12 ml. Were exploded with 80 ml of air, which is 20% by volume. Matlab how much is air inside it? Into zero point 0.2, right? How much is O2 inside it? Into zero point 0.2. So 16 ml O2. If all the volumes are measured at room temperature and pressure, find the unused volume. So one reaction would be H2 plus half O2 gives H2O, and the other reaction would be CO plus half O2 gives CO2. If this reacted 12 ml, this will react 6 ml. If this reacts 12 ml, this will again react 6 ml. So 12 ml over what is left is 4 ml. I am putting this question in a medium one because it is possible that you might have got confused somewhere as to what to do. Which of the following properties are extensive property? Volume is, energy is, mass is. Which else? Which one else? Melting point is definitely not. Ductility is not. Conductivity is not. Boiling point is not. Density is an intensive property. Length of the sample, simple. Again, M, because you could have got confused that if I take more sample, the color is darker. You could get confused that if I take more sample, the color becomes darker. It is not because of that. The color of the sample has not changed. The opacity of the sample has changed. The color of the sample has not changed. The opacity of the sample would have changed. The way it interacts with light would have changed, but the actual color would not have changed. Even odor, even odor is not dependent on concentration. How we perceive odor is dependent on concentration. H2S is rotten egg like smell. So thoda sa H2S is not rotten egg like smell. And density is mass per unit volume. That is always intensive. तो इसका difficulty level raise कर देते हैं D. ठीक. Now, a 1 gram sample of 64% purity is dissolved in acid and reduced by heating the solution with zinc dust. The resultant solution is cooled and made up to 100 ml, 25 ml of which requires so much oxidant for titration. तो ऑक्सीडेंट ने किसी को तो ऑक्सीडाइज किया होगा, जो रिड्यूस हुआ उसको उसने वापस ऑक्सीडाइज कर दिया. Calculate the number of electrons taken up by the oxidant in the reaction of the above titration. Now, first of all, there is some issue with the question. He does not tell me 1 gram sample of solid of what, right? But then he also gives me molar mass of Fe2O3, तो उससे आइडिया लगना चाहिए था that ये Fe2O3 की बात हो रही है. Sir, how do you know Fe2O3? Why cannot it be anything else? Why will he give molar mass of Fe2O3 otherwise? So what is happening first? What is happening first? Fe2O3 is reacting with zinc. 2 gives Zn2 plus, and you will get Fe3 plus. I'm not balancing the reaction. I've just written the ionic balancing of it. From this, what do we calculate? From this, we understand what is the N factor of the oxidant. Sir, how do you know N factor of the oxidant? Weight of Fe2O3 is how much? Weight of Fe2O3 is 0.64 gram because it is 64% pure. So from here, I can calculate the number of moles of Fe2O3, which will be weight upon molecular weight. From this, I can calculate equivalence of Fe2O3, which will be equal to number of moles into the N factor. Plus 3 goes to plus 2. Change is 1. I have 2 iron, so N factor is 2. Now this will be equal to what? This will be equal to equivalence of oxidant, but there is a catch. These were the number of moles or equivalences in 100 ml. I used only 25. So 25 upon 100 will get multiplied, isn't it? And then E oxidation would be 20 upon 1000 into 0.02 into the N factor. So from here you will get the N factor of oxidant, which will finally help you get the answer. Aliquot means a part. Aliquot means a withdrawal or a part. Number of electrons taken up by the oxidant will basically be this thing only, na? Number of moles into the N factor, because this tells you what total number of electron exchanged, isn't it? This tells you the number of moles of electron exchanged. Now I think second last question is root mean square velocity compare किया है. That is a very very easy question. Not discussing it. Very easy. This one is very easy. सर लास्ट वन में तो क्या हुआ पता ही नहीं चला. Where did de Broglie wavelength suddenly come into the picture flying in gaseous state? So atomic masses are given to you. A value of de Broglie wavelength of helium and neon is given to you. You have to find the relationship between de Broglie wavelength. So de Broglie wavelength is what? H upon mv, है कि नहीं? Yes, absolutely, Chinmay. This is H upon mv. So I take, let's say, W1 of lambda 1 upon lambda 2. So what will I get? Lambda 1 upon lambda 2 will come out to be M2 V2 upon M1 V1. Now the problem is, sir, what should I take the velocity? Average, URMS, or U average? Does not matter, it gets cancelled. You will write it as what? Some constant into RT by M. है ना? So only the M will matter, the T will matter, the constants will get cancelled. Why do you worry? Question solved. With this, we come an end to today's class. I want you to analyze in easy, medium, difficult, and then see in which section you were able to score how much. Gautam, copy that and send to me on Telegram. I cannot read it now. They have already filled up the feedback form yesterday. Chalo, bye guys. Take care. Good night, good day, and see you tomorrow. And stay negative.